Welcome to Penny for Your Shots, Conversations and Cocktails with Brilliant Women, the podcast where we uncork the stories and insights of exceptional female leaders from all walks of life. Our goal is to serve up wisdom, tips, and inspiration, and to support each other in rediscovering ourselves and what sets our souls on fire. We'll also share personal memories, paired with friends and a favorite beverage. I'm your host, Penny Fitzgerald, and I believe that the best stories are served up over a glass of wine or a cocktail. So grab a glass, get comfy, and let's pour ourselves into Penny for Your Shots. What if creativity wasn't just something you do, but a way of being? This week, I'm so excited to introduce you to Pia Mailhot-Leichter, writer, coach, creative director, and all-around brilliant woman who's on a mission to help others reclaim their creative power. From growing up with an artist father in Manhattan to building a successful career in advertising, then taking the brave leap into entrepreneurship, Pia's story is a rich tapestry of unlearning, rediscovery, and trust. In our conversation, she shares what it means to lean into possibility, how to sit with the unknown, even when it's wildly uncomfortable, and why joy, community, and experimentation are non-negotiables. Whether you're in a season of change or just need a nudge to remember that you are creative, this episode is a beautiful invitation to step out of the box and back into yourself. Want to be the first to know when my free Stop Selling, Start Serving workshop is back? Or get a little weekly encouragement, inspiration, and fun in your inbox? Become an insider at pennyforyourshots.com/insider. I'd love to keep in touch. Grab your favorite drink, whether it's Prosecco or kombucha, and click play. Here is Pia Mailhot-Leichter.
Hi.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good afternoon or morning to you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Where are you located?
I'm in Copenhagen.
You are. Wonderful.
Yeah. And where are you?
I'm in Iowa.
Oh, wow. Cool. So it is morning. Okay. So
It is morning here.
Starting your day.
Yes. It's so great to meet you.
It's so wonderful to meet you.
Pia, I am so grateful that you found me. How did you find me?
Actually, I have a VA who's been doing a lot of research trying to help pair me with Right Fit podcasts in terms of energy. And also, I loved your concept, even though actually I don't drink, or I stopped drinking, which we can get into that. Not that there's anything wrong, but anyone can do whatever they want. But
that's right.
Yeah, and it's just trying to find energetically aligned places to have deeper conversations. And so it happens with doing the research, but then like the follow-up, how does it feel? And everything that led us here today. So it's been
awesome.
It's been a pleasure. And I love the authentic conversations that you have with people and what you bring out in the safe spaces that you're able to create, because they're also fun. So it's
right.
Good to be here. Yeah.
That's what it's all about, creating fun. Absolutely. And those real genuine connections and collaborations. I love it. I'm grateful.
Exactly. And I love that. Me too. And I love the spirit of, I think that is also like, let's have a drink and let's just talk and let's let down the guard and make it feel comfortable and not necessarily perform, but just show up. Quality. So I'm digging it. It feels, feels good.
Awesome. Well, I have only begun reading your book, Pia. So I am really excited to dig in. I'm going on vacation next week and have a lot of time to read. So I'm really excited about
Where are you
that.
going?
We are going to Wyoming for a family reunion.
Wonderful. Why? I've never been to Wyoming.
I haven't either.
Well, you're going to be going soon. I wonder what. Well, I look forward to hearing what that's like.
Yeah, we're driving too, so I'll be in the car a lot and have lots of time to dig in.
Sounds good. Well, I look forward to hearing what you think.
Yes.
It's I wrote it to also read like chapter by chapter. So with the hope that maybe someone just, goes to a park, does something, and they just open the book and they're able to find whatever they need in whatever chapter they've opened. That was the goal anyway.
Love it. Well, you begin to talk about creativity and how we were born creative. I so agree with that. I feel like we get squashed down by life, or we allow it to to dictate what happens, one foot in front of the other, just making it day to day and doing what we have to do, our responsibilities, following those. And then we forget how amazing we are and what brought us joy before, you know?
Absolutely. And I think that's part of getting older and is rediscovering our
Mm.
creativity and also unlearning what we've learned and
Yes.
and relearning again and also
Right.
rediscovering. So it's kind of coming back full circle to the things that, as you said, brought us joy and how we used to play. And yeah, a
Mm.
little bit, awe and wonder and less duty and obligation. Even though we have responsibilities as adults, we're also able to respond to life in any way we want. And that's really where our creative power lives. It's easy to forget, though, in the midst of laundry and being at the DMV and all the things. But amidst that, I think we can remember that we're also designing our experience. We get to choose.
Right. Right. Well, tell my audience a little bit about your background because, reading your book, it's clear that you've rediscovered joy and rediscovered your creativity. But can you tell my audience, my listeners, a little bit about that journey and how you got started or rediscovering that piece of you?
Sure. Well, I grew up with an artist. My father's an artist. He's an abstract painter, and so I always grew up in a world of color and light and
Mm.
creativity. It was never something that was frowned on, down upon, or like get a real job. It was never part of what I was told because that was the real passion that was, a part of what my father did and what he showed me. He also showed me that could be a very tough life living in near
Mm.
being an artist in New York City, on the Lower East Side,
Oh.
Manhattan, and I grew up in the 80s and 90s as a little girl, and seeing the ups and downs and the roller coaster of that actually made me. My father's my hero, but he also was a warning sign. So it was like,
Mm.
oh, this is the price that you pay when you color outside of society's prescriptive lines.
Wow.
And so I ventured into the world of commercial creativity because it felt like this was a space working in advertising and marketing as a creative director and copywriter and creative strategist. Like, okay, this is what I can do that allows me to be creative and also have security. And so,
Mm.
and it was good for a while. It was beautiful. It was a place where I felt that's what they do. That I belonged, that's what they do. So you give it everything you have, and it felt like being a part of something bigger, and the
Mm.
work felt really meaty and important. Until I realized that there was a dream that was itching and poking me at night. Questions about what I might create if I channeled my creative energy into building my own dream instead of someone else's.
Mm.
And when my mother passed suddenly in 2021, one of her parting gifts was a shot of courage. Like, what am I waiting for? I have this one life. It's
Oh,
if it's not now, then when, right? And shortly thereafter, I quit my job and I
wow.
started to build my own business. And then serendipitously, a bunch of different things started to happen as I leaned into trusting life, trusting my own creativity, and rediscovering what creativity really meant to me, which
Mm-hmm.
included a door opening for the opportunity to write a book. So,
Yeah.
which was a second epiphany, like, oh, creativity isn't only about building commercial ventures or businesses. It's also about just making art to make an impact in the world. And those are beautiful. They're beautiful unfolding. But in many ways, connected creativity to something that we do. Right? Like this is we
Yeah.
do this,
An
and what
act.
I've an act. You're right. And what I've discovered is that creativity is really a way of being in the world. It's not just something you do.
That's
It's
beautiful.
yeah, it's how you see your life, how you approach your life, how you solve everyday challenges in new, novel, and unexpected ways. It's your ability to create and craft your own experience by being conscious of the stories you tell yourself, just like the story I was telling myself as a kid that, oh, just focusing on creativity as art is dangerous, right? Which,
Mm.
yeah, as a child, I see I might have got that impression, but as an adult, I can say, yeah, it might feel scary, but it doesn't have to be. It can be
Mhm.
something that I also give myself and allow myself to do and to be. And to me, that's also a very creative act, is making those conscious choices about which scripts that we want to discard and which ones we might want to rewrite and which ones we might want to keep, and how they influence our experience of our reality, really.
Yeah. It's so easy to take that on and it becomes our identity. Don't you feel like you could
Oh, yeah.
totally like squash it and be like, well, I am this person instead of I choose to follow this path. Hello, friend. Let's be real. When's the last time you did something just for you? Enter Wine Camp 2026. We're talking wine tastings, fire pit chats, sunset dinner cruises, and zero cooking required. Just show up, sip something fabulous, and reconnect with the version of you who loves adventure, sisterhood, and a glass of local Riesling in hand. Sweet, dry, or both. No judgment here. We're heading to New York's gorgeous Finger Lakes, July 31st through August 2nd. And yes, it's as dreamy as it sounds. Secure your spot at pennyforyourshots.com/wine camp. Don't wait, room options are limited, and my crystal ball says we're going to sell out. Bring your besties or fly solo like the fabulous free spirit you are. You'll leave with new favorites either way. Wine Camp 2026 is calling. The only question is, are you in? Find out more at pennyforyourshots.com/wine camp.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the hardest things when it comes to our own creative evolution. And I believe if you're a human, you're an artist at play. We all go through creative evolutions where something that might have worked before, that we might have been very successful at doing, no longer works. Or not that no longer works, it no longer fulfills us in the same way.
No longer serves us.
No longer serves. It's time for
Yeah.
something else. But that something else is very scary because we don't know what it is. Right. And so it's kind of, we have to have these extinction moments almost where we allow what we used to do or used to serve, we let it go, we bury it, we honor it, we have a ceremony, we ritualize it, and then we move on into what is next. And we also have to go into a sort of void period where it's like between what was and what is coming, allowing that process to happen. And it takes a lot of courage because it feels very wildly uncomfortable because it's unknown and it's uncertain. But that's really the birthplace of creativity. No one goes to create something knowing exactly what it is they're going to create. We have to surrender to the creative process, which is like, oh, this is fun. I don't know what it will be. Let's find out. Let's do this. Let's get curious again, like we used to be when we were kids. We just get curious and we play and we experiment and we explore, and that itself becomes the pleasure, becomes the joy, not just needing to know what the result will be or what it needs to do for us. It will come. That will just be a byproduct of the joy we're having, and the what I call the wobbles. It's a package deal, right? It's not just
good with the bad.
Pleasure. Yeah, the highs and the lows. Like some days it's like, oh, what is it going to be? What's going to happen? What am I doing next? What is it going to look like? And other days it's like, oh, fantastic! I have no idea. It could be anything. The possibilities feel endless.
Yeah.
And being able to ride that wave and to get support in community as we build and grow and explore and evolve, because human beings, not only are we naturally creative, we are fluid, changeable beings. Our bodies constantly change. We are part of nature. The moon has cycles, nature has seasons. We go through our own changes. So releasing into that and understanding that's part of our own creative process, that life itself is a creative process, is what allows us, I believe, to reconnect to our creative power. Get them back into the driver's seat, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's so cool. It's beautiful and terrifying.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you lived it as a kid, living with your father, the artist. Was it a financial worry that you grew up with? Yeah.
Definitely.
So how you're going to
Yeah.
live day to day, how you're going to pay those bills. So as an adult, how do you allow yourself to trust that it's going to be okay? How do you get there?
I love that question, Penny. I personally believe it's a practice. Like it's not a destination.
Yeah.
Uh, for me, I'm practicing moving with trust every day because I know what it's like to move with fear, first unconsciously, right? That fear that we
Mm-hmm.
kind of inherit, that just what you described, like how are we going to pay the bills? My dad, was a blackjack dealer for the mafia. He drove the horse and
Oh
buggy
gosh.
in Central Park. He was a merchant marine. He did anything and everything that could support his art.
Wow.
And yeah, so that can feel shaky. That there are stories in that, right? There's
Of
there's
course.
inherited sort of scarcity. What if I can't? And some of it's very real. So I'm,
Uh-huh.
honoring that experience. But as an adult now, I want to move with a different story. I want to move, and I think being an entrepreneur very much is a playing field, or a
Mm-hmm.
gym that strengthens my muscle to be in uncertainty, because
Mm.
life is inherently uncertain. But sometimes when we're in a salaried position, it can feel more certain. But that too,
Yeah,
of course, anything can happen, right? Is also
exactly.
uncertain, but it feels more secure. But when
Right.
we're when
False.
we're yeah, yeah. Well,
A
I
false
heard, I
security.
heard exactly. I heard on a podcast. I just loved it. It really stayed with me, that there's nothing more addictive than two things for human beings. I think it was, one was heroin and the second one was a salary.
Oh,
Like
wow.
what we do, what we give up, what we do for
Right.
that security, what we trade in
Right.
often.
Yeah.
Is this sort of addiction to wanting to feel secure. And I get that because I'm human and I feel it too. But I find that the more that I surrender into trust, like for the first year, 2 years of building my business, I felt more anxiety about, like, "Ugh,
Oh,
when is it coming?" Not all the time, but I remember
yeah.
feeling like, like I don't know, like, when is this next client coming? What is this going to be? I don't know what my business, because your business keeps developing. I don't know what it's going to look
Right.
like. Is it this? Is it that? And then it was really interesting because after about 2 years of this, I worried a lot less. My muscle
Mm.
felt stronger. I was like, no, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna be okay. I show up, but it will figure itself out. It will
Yeah.
come. It always does. Let me lean back a little bit. And so I think, to me,
Mm.
that's a practice of trust. That's like, okay, I'm not sure, but I trust that if I show up, right, I'm taking care.
Yeah.
It's going to be taken care of. And
Right.
so far it has been. It is.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's a trust fall, right? You're
Totally.
learning, the fear, we let our fears keep us small. And every time you step out of that comfort zone, it's a practice. It's that
Mm.
training that you're training your brain to that, oh, I'm okay. I didn't die. It's
Totally.
awesome.
And I think that's where our freedom lies.
Yeah.
Because the more that we practice and the more that we create evidence for our
Yeah.
rational mind, then no, of course we didn't die. Yeah, it was a little hard, right? But we're okay. We're
It's
gonna make it.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, very. But we got it.
Yep.
This the less it kicks up, the less it creates
Yeah.
these stories. The fear kind of quiets. It's there, but it quiets, and it allows us to go further and to do even bigger things, more expansive
Yeah.
things. And I think that is, to me, that feels very meaningful. I want to
Yeah.
live a life of freedom, and that means doing things that scare me a bit. That means doing,
Feeling
trusting,
alive.
feeling alive. Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And feeling alive is that combination of beauty and terror, right?
Right.
Like it's both of
A
those
little bit.
things.
Yeah.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, I think it's a part of what this human experience is. We don't know where we're going when the curtain falls. That can feel
Right.
very
True.
terrifying, but it can also feel exciting and liberating, because that means we have one life. What are we going to do with it?
Right. Who are we going to serve?
Right?
What good can we do? Yeah.
Totally.
It's exciting and terrifying. But yeah, I've heard so many times that being an entrepreneur is a little like building the train while it's running down the track.
Mm,
It's
totally.
so true. You're like, oh my gosh, this is scary. And yeah, I don't know where my next meal is coming from. I mean, it's not quite that bad, but and it's not bad. It's not bad. We have to tell a new story. And the more we get out of that comfort zone, the more that we develop that muscle, the story becomes a little bit more fun and more joyful.
Totally. Absolutely. And for me, that story is uncertainty is not only the realm of knee knocking angst, it's the realm of endless possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, anything is possible because everything is possible, you know?
Right.
And I think that can be real. That's like a new, that's to me, that's the reframe. When we know where the walls are and the ceiling is, I mean, that's known, but it's a small space because we know it.
Mm-hmm.
We've been here before. We've done this before. And yeah, it feels safe, but at what cost?
Mm-hmm.
And so, hey, I'd rather be in the realm of unlimited, limitless possibility, right?
Yeah.
And then I accept what comes with that. And that doesn't mean I don't have days where I just want to curl up on the couch and eat a Ben and Jerry's ice cream and
Right.
binge Netflix. But it's a good reminder. It's a good reminder that hey, I'm alive and I'm doing this thing, and I don't know what it will be. Ain't that cool? Sometimes
Yeah,
it's
it's
like,
very cool. Yeah,
yeah,
I found myself even just talking with you about it that I'm talking myself into how, oh no, 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 it's okay.
yeah,
Some days are like that where you feel like, oh gosh, this was hard today, or I have this thing I need to do that I haven't done before, or that I don't feel like I've done very well at before, or I don't have all the things figured out. So for me, getting in a space where I'm like talking with someone like you, creatively energetic and very positive, and getting in that energy and staying around it until I'm able to be brave enough to take that first step out of that comfort zone, that to me, I feel is very important and it helps drive me forward instead of, or pull me forward rather than pushing me up the hill.
yeah,
Does that make
absolutely.
sense?
Yeah, it does. I love what you're pointing to. To me, you're pointing to partnership and a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful interdependence. And that's the beauty of it. We're not alone in it. And we get to partner together. There's a lot, to create the kind of lives and businesses we want to create and to go further into the arena, even when it feels scary, because we're not alone in it.
Right.
And I
And it
think
can
that's
be
so
lonely to be an
important.
entrepreneur.
It can be. And that's why I
Mm-hmm.
think community is so important and partnership is important so that, we surround ourselves with people that remind us like, hey, you know, it's all of it, baby. It's the peaks and the valleys, but we're doing it together. And ain't it one hell of a ride? Yes, it is. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that we can, hold each other or hold space for one another when those moments arise of the wobbles or those feelings. It's like, oh,
Mm.
I don't know. And I think that's what's needed, and that we grow and expand and create together. I mean, creativity is collaboration, full stop.
Yeah. Yeah. And the older I get too, the more I realize how important my girlfriends are.
Totally.
I mean,
Absolutely.
just sitting together and having, conversation and lifting each other up and collaborating and also sometimes commiserating
Absolutely.
about all the things.
It's so important. And also getting a chance to enjoy life and have fun and be together and laugh at ourselves, laugh at what's
Mm-hmm.
happening. And know that once again, like we're not alone in it. That's why I think vulnerability is so powerful because it's what connects us. Sometimes really hard to be vulnerable. I didn't know I was going to share things that I shared in my book, but I did it because I really wanted to show how I lost and found my creative power to invite people perhaps along the ride with me, or to share something that might create some impact or make a small ripple of a difference. And I think the only way, at least for me, where I really feel moved and connected is when I see someone, when I really feel their story, and the story comes with its usual dramas and shadow and light, and I don't know, that makes me feel connected and supported and seen when I read other
Yes.
people's stories and hear about what their journey looked like. All
You're
of it,
not
not just
alone.
not just the golden peaks of the journey, right?
Right.
But the bruises and the beauty marks, the shit and the rainbows.
Yeah, because sometimes that feels more real. I mean, when you hear someone's story, and like you said, when you are hearing a story and you see them, you hear them, that the person, that's the greatest gift I feel we can give to another human is to let them feel seen and heard, that they are understood.
Absolutely. I agree without judgment.
Yeah.
Just letting people be as they are and show up, not needing
Mm,
to be any other way without, yeah, just that fullness. And I think when we're able to share our story authentically, even when, especially when it's raw and
mm,
vulnerable, then we model that for other people. That
right.
it's okay to do that. That's actually
Yeah.
what stitches us together are those the the realness of that.
Yeah.
And that felt
I
important to me, especially in
oh,
today's world.
so important. Yeah. And as a coach, don't you feel too that it's important? You have gone there, you've been there, done that kind of thing. Now, come with me. Let me pull you with me. Let me help you through some of the things that you're going through because I've been there too. Is that how you approach coaching, or what do you how do
Well,
you
I
structure?
mean, this is what's interesting. When I went from being a creative director and copywriter, I did a coaching certification towards the end of my agency career, at least,
Mm-hmm.
in order to, I found that a lot of the creative challenges were also human challenges. So
Mm,
understanding how to relate to people differently was really, really important. It was not just about producing the best ideas or the best copy, but it was also about understanding how to really channel and reflect what a client or a human person needed or what their vision was or or how to build on that. And yeah, it was felt much more relational. So I kind of stumbled into the world of coaching, which is ultimately the art of transformation, which is very much
mm,
creativity, and saw
love
so
it.
many beautiful parallels. And so now I'm able to combine both the creative work, creative direction, copywriting strategy with coaching into what I call creative partnership, depending on the people's or company or brands journeys where they are. I'll turn up the volume on these different tools that I have. So sometimes the coaching will be a
Okay.
little bit lower, sometimes the creative aspect is a bit higher, and sometimes vice versa. So to answer your question, when it comes to coaching, it's not about me anymore. That's where I was going. So
Mm.
when I worked in the creative industry, often it's about who can come up with the best idea in the
Oh,
shortest amount of time,
competitive.
in brief, on budget. Let's go.
Mm,
It's very competitive. So it's ultimately about the creative problem solver. And in coaching, it's very much the polar opposite. It's not about
mm,
me at all. It's about the human in
right.
front of me. And what I'm there to do is really hold space to heighten their self-awareness so that
Right.
people can connect to what feels right for them, and people can feel into their own intuition, and people can remove layers and get also to the heart of what it is they're really looking to create and make real in the
Nice.
world. You
They
know,
feel safe.
Oh, that's absolutely essential to any courageous exploration is a feeling of safety and a feeling of being seen and a feeling of not someone imposing what they think you should do. It's not advice giving. It's not, it's not telling anyone what to do.
Mhm.
My answers are only mine. They only work for me. So really as a coach, it's about, helping people find their own answers. And we do that through my own intuition, powerful questions, insights, a bunch of different tools in order to get to the heart of what it is that they're really looking to create in their life and make real in the world. And
Wow.
it's actually quite fascinating when that is paired with the creative aspect. So first, really understanding what stops you, what blocks you, what are you yearning to create? Is it really that? What else might it be? How does that
Mm,
vision support your overall joie de vivre, your overall life? Because it's much bigger than the creation, right? It's the whole of it's the designing your experience. And then once we have that kind of deeper understanding, we're able to bring that to life. And I'm able to use my creative skills to help them do that, whether it's a brand or a business or a creative venture. And that's really
Mhm.
exciting. I find that it's very rewarding, and it's such a gift to be able to be a creative midwife with people.
Nice.
So in many ways, I don't think my clients know much about me. Now they can because they can read the book. But like it was never really about me sharing this is what I've been through, or this is because
Hmm.
it's not about me at all, really. Like,
Yeah.
so that made writing this book that much more vulnerable.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and even when you're not sharing what made you you, it gives you insight into being able to be open and being able to listen and being able to understand, to be able to help that person just be heard.
Definitely. And I think that's what so many of us need, is just to
Mm.
be seen,
Yeah.
just to be heard, and to also help see ourselves. Because
Yeah.
often, that also reflection, like sometimes we don't see our own brilliance. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Like sometimes my clients say such wise things. I go, just going to pause here, and I'm going to repeat what I heard you say. And what comes up for you when I repeat that back at you? And people, oh, I said that. Yeah, you look how wise
Yeah.
you
Word
are.
for word.
Yeah, exactly. Look at look at your own wisdom. Like, let's just take a moment and also learn to recognize when the saboteur voices come in, because we all have them. Let's normalize that. Wherever we all have an inner judge, right? Number one.
Mm.
And they usually have sidekicks that they hang out with, whether it's the controller or whatnot. And so understanding, like, oh, that cadence, that voice sounded a bit different. Who just stepped into the room? What is that?
Mm.
Oh, and it sounds very different from a more intuitive, wise, knowing voice. And just being able to see ourselves, again, that self-awareness, uh, it it enables us to step into the creative director's chair of our lives
Hmm.
when we have that self-awareness. Oh, yeah, okay, that's what's driving that decision. Do I want it to? Is there
Right.
something else? No, I'm looking to create that experience, not just that project, right? But I want to create this feeling, the feeling it will give me. Oh, what's the feeling you're after? Oh, it's freedom. Okay. What does that feel like in your body right now? And then you're
Mm.
able to see that if it's the feeling you're after, you can create it in this moment, not only attached to the thing that you're looking to get or achieve. So
Right.
it's fascinating. And of course I do that with myself as well.
Oh, yeah, we have to.
Right.
Yeah. And
And I'm always sorry to interrupt you, I'm always curious
mm,
about pleasure, right? For myself, like
mm,
what what feels pleasurable to me?
mm,
What feels good? Because I don't find often, especially as women, what brings us pleasure, what brings us joy, what feels good.
yeah.
And as I said, we grow and we change. So it's not a one and done, asking these questions again and then experimenting with it and going, oh, I think it's that. Okay, let's see how that feels. I'm going to dance in the kitchen. Oh, that feels really pleasurable. you know, and giving
Yeah.
it to ourselves. So getting curious and then actually allowing that experience is something I play with anyway.
Yeah. I believe the action brings clarity, and you really
Mm.
don't know unless you give something a try.
100%.
Yeah. Like,
100%.
well, that didn't feel quite as like I thought it would. So let's try something else. Let's do this instead.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And especially in business, I feel like, when you're wondering, okay, how all these ideas that I want to bring out into the world, these are the things that I want to do to serve people. Well, do they want that? Do
Mm.
they need that? How will you know unless you get out there and ask some people or give it a try and see how it lands? Do people
Totally.
really find a transformation in what you're offering? Is it helpful? Are you serving other people, or is it just something that you wanted to do? Not that there's
Mm.
anything wrong with that.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that to me, that's why I love the word experimentation, because when we
Yes.
experiment, we kind of separate, we kind of drop failure, drops out of the equation, because
Yes.
it's not about failure, it's experimentation. We're experimenting. right? And
Right.
that means we're going to get different data points. Some data points will be positive and some will be negative in the sense of, okay,
That didn't
interesting.
work.
That didn't work. And then you're running an experiment, so you need all of that information. That's the nature of an experiment. It's getting all the data points and then making
Exactly.
a decision based once you have them and looking at it going, okay, I think I'm going to keep experimenting, but I'm going to, double down on
Steer
that.
it.
Yeah, double down
Yeah.
on that particular thing. And then to make it continuous because everything changes. And so
Right.
riding that wave instead of, which is difficult, I think, instead of holding on to one version of it, back to the
Yeah.
creative evolution and extinction moments. Because when
Yes.
something works, it becomes really easy to grip,
Comfortable.
comfortable. Success can get very comfortable, right?
Right.
And then it becomes more difficult to experiment. But our
Exactly.
fulfillment is also on the other side of that. When we're feeling that pull and that tug anyway, if we're not feeling it, then great, keep doing what you're doing. But
Yeah.
oftentimes when we feel that tug of, oh, something more is calling me, I don't know what it is, but I'm really comfortable. I think it's at those points becoming conscious of that and saying, okay, I think that tug is trying to take me somewhere really interesting. I don't know where it will
Yeah.
go, but I'm going to trust and see what comes out on the other side.
That's great. Well, I feel too, like for me, I was in a job that I loved, love, love, loved. I was doing in-home wine tastings.
Oh, wonderful.
It
I
was
love
so fun.
that.
Yeah. 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 And I had a large team. And leading them was such a great joy. Just being in the moment with them as they achieved what they were shooting for, to get
Mm.
an incentive trip or buying a boat for their household. I mean, it was just all the fun things that they had on their goal poster and then helping them get it. And there were signs that the company wasn't really doing. I mean, it was starting to kind of decline after, COVID kind of had a big piece of
Mm.
that. But you could see maybe I should be looking for something else or I should be doing something else. I didn't see the signs. I didn't want to see the signs. I loved that job. I was going to make it work no matter what. And it didn't. So in hindsight, I'm looking back and thinking, oh my gosh, if I just started this, working for myself, serving others, doing this podcast, hearing the stories of brilliant women, sharing this and collaborating and taking it where it's taking me now. If I just started this earlier, gosh, I think of all the things that could have happened. You can't dwell in, well, two lessons from that. You can't dwell in what didn't happen,
Mm.
and don't bury your head in the sand when you love something so much that you want to grab onto it and hold on to it so tightly and it's not going to work. Don't just grab and hold on tight more tightly. That doesn't work.
What did it teach you?
Um, I think it taught me to be more open to change,
Mm.
to be more open to it's not a death. What if it's a possibility?
Mm.
What if it's something more? And I knew it would be, but I just didn't know what yet. So that's scary, right? Not knowing, stepping out of that comfort
Absolutely.
zone again.
It sounds like it was part of what led you here,
Absolutely.
you know?
It all builds on, we're never starting over, no matter what, if we're starting
True.
a new career or starting a new path, it's not necessarily completely new. We're always building on our past experiences. We have all this wisdom that we've gained through trial and error and through all of the lessons that we've learned, even when they're painful.
And I think that's the most important thing to remember. It's not the death of us in a way, our identity that was connected
Right.
to what we used to do. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's the death of that particular expression of ourselves in what we do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we take all of it with us.
Right.
And we're able then to take it and transmute it or build on it or have it grow and evolve into something new, into a new creative venture.
Right.
And I think everything you described to me is is an experience and process I very much relate to. I did the same thing when I was in because I loved what I did. I loved working. I worked at a purpose-driven creative consultancy, so using
Mm.
creativity to do good in the world. So I was on paper, and it was wonderful. It's my last agency job. It was so wonderful, and I think that's what made it harder to
Mm.
leave,
Yeah.
even though I knew it felt like time was up, right? Like it's because
Yeah,
I knew
exactly.
it. I had done it. I had
Yeah,
done it.
deep
I
down.
knew it deep down, but it was too frightening to think of like, what am I going to do? If not that, what? What
Right.
I have no idea what it will be. And I think calling in compassion and grace for ourselves in those moments, it takes
Yeah.
the time it takes, you know? It's just part of our process. And the next time that we're at that kind of sticky juncture again,
Hmm.
it might look a bit different because we've done it once before. But I feel
Yeah.
like that first time, it's a lot. It's the big leap. It's the biggest jump that we take. At least that's what it looked like for me. You know, after
Yeah.
that, the second big jump was writing the book, which also felt really scary, but that only took me
Mm.
24 hours to make a decision. Right.
Yeah.
Whereas
And
leaving
once you
my agency
decide,
role, yeah, then
then you put
I'm
it into
ready.
motion.
That's right. And then it just starts. Whereas
Hmm.
leaving my agency role because it meant so much, it meant moving into entrepreneurship and not knowing what exactly I was going to be building, as you said, the train and the tracks, right?
Yeah.
That took much longer, and that's okay. Like just like for yourself, like it took longer,
Uh-huh.
and you loved it so much, and it was something that brought you so much joy. You ignored the signs because you didn't want to see them, and that's it's okay. Grace and compassion, and then look where it brought you. And now the next
Yeah.
time there's a calling or signs appear, I'm sure you might see them.
Yeah. 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 And I'll be more willing to pivot, I think,
Yeah.
earlier. Yeah. And use more action to gain clarity instead of, doing the things that we've always done. You have to do something new all the time.
It's true. And that's why I think first times are really good. Like
Mm,
I, I just turned 50. May 23rd. I'm still getting used to
60 over here, girl.
Ooh, well, you have, I would not have, never have guessed. Much
You
younger
either. I
energy.
mean, come on, we're just wise. We're wiser.
Wiser. Yeah, exactly. And I was in Bali and I'm like, I want to go to Bali and give myself the pleasure of that experience. And
Hmm.
I want to do more first times as
Oh,
I get older,
nice.
right? Because I think
Yes.
that is a way of running a series of experiments for yourself it enables us to feel that fear and do it anyway in small
Hmm.
doses. And so I decided to learn how to surf. I don't know why. I just really
Oh my
I didn't
gosh.
want to be, I've never surfed before. I wasn't expecting to be like, an expert or do it well. It wasn't about that. It was just, I've never done it. I'm in Bali. Let's try. And I had this idea of how cool it would be. I do the surfing lesson. It was really hard. It was a
I'm
lot of like,
sure.
there's paddle, paddle, paddle. There's a lot of work. And then I felt a
Uh-huh.
lot of fear. Like
Yes.
I had a trainer, I had a coach with me, someone I've never done this. And he's behind me, holding, like I can't see. And he's just like, I'm going to tell you when to start paddling. And then I'm going to say, get up. And you need to get up. And for the first few times, I just wasn't getting up. My body wouldn't do
Scary.
it.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
just felt scared. And it
Yep.
was cool because what was interesting was in that moment, I was able to feel my fear. And then I got
Uh-huh.
curious about it, not judgmental. I got curious, like, oh, what am I really afraid of? Well, I don't know what's going to happen.
Dying.
Yeah. Face planting into the surfboard. No,
Yeah.
but it was really, I didn't know what to expect. I had no idea what I was doing because I'd never done it before. So I didn't know what to
Uh-huh.
expect. I didn't know what would happen when I tried to stand up, I
Hmm.
just didn't know. And so ultimately, it's the unknown. And I've already
Yeah.
known this, but it was kind of cool to see it in a completely different way, in a different
Uh-huh.
environment, or it's like, oh, this fear is just because I have no I'm not going to curse, but I felt moved to. I have no freaking clue. I have no freaking clue what's going to happen, what this is. And lo and behold, like after the first few times of messing up and not really getting up, the fear dissipated because I started to say, okay, well, when I start to feel the energy from the wave, he's going to tell me to paddle. And then I
Yeah.
try to get up. And if I can, I will. And if I don't, I'll fall off. And then the second time I did a lesson, I actually stood up, not eloquently. And I mean, I didn't stand up looking like a ballerina at all, but I stood up and I was really proud of myself for that. Cause again, I was
Yeah.
just trying things for the first time. And I also went scuba diving for the first time, which is something my husband wanted to do. He had no intention of surfing with me, and swam with these big manta ray,
Wow.
huge
Yeah.
fish, and that was new, and that also felt scary, but also really cool. So I don't know. I feel like that's one way that you don't have to go to Bali to do it, but we can all sort of experiment with what are those first times and what does it feel like when we do something for the first time. Ultimately, there will be, I imagine, I don't know, let maybe someone in the audience go, I don't feel any fear, and I'll say, hoorah. But for me,
Yeah.
I
Atta girl.
there's often a bit of fear in the mix because it's the unknown. I've never done it. I don't know what it's going to be.
Uh-huh.
And so I think that's another way of strengthening our muscle, to be in uncertainty and to feel more
Absolutely.
of the possibility and that aliveness that we spoke about, right? Back to that.
Yes.
Doing things for the first time feels a little terrifying, and it feels really beautiful and exciting and thrilling all at
Yep.
once. And I feel very
Yeah.
alive.
And then after you do it, you feel so accomplished because you gave it a try, even if you're not, the ballerina on, if you're not up there like graceful, but that beginner mindset, just trying something
Totally.
new, totally keeps our brains active too. I feel like it's just good for us all the way
Absolutely.
around.
Absolutely. And that doing something new, I think or being in new environments, doing something
Yes.
new does correlate. Neuroscience research does show that
Mm-hmm.
creativity is enhanced when we travel, often because we're in new environments, new
Mm.
sights, new sounds, new tastes, new situations we find ourselves in that we need to sort of
Mm-hmm.
respond to, connect ideas. It challenges us. It can build new neural pathways, and it's quite exciting. And we don't always need to travel super far, but we can find ways. We need to be in new environments. So that can look
Yeah.
like travel, but I would argue that we can also create that in our lives without needing, again, to jump on a plane for 20 hours like I did. Like we can do it
It'd be
differently.
fun
Yeah, it is
for
also
most of
fun. Do
us.
that too. Do that
Yeah.
too. But so I just felt like throwing that in there because it's just interesting to see how these things intersect.
That's great. Can you
Mm.
tell us a little bit more about that neuroscience behind it? Because I think that's fascinating. I mean, we know in our gut that, wow, that felt good, or that really made me feel brave. But
Mm.
it does create new pathways, right? That help stimulate and create more ability for ourselves.
Definitely. And I think it's like so our known behaviors, our routines kind of deepen a groove, a neural pathway, like a groove. So
Mm.
if you imagine like a ski slope, right, and going down, it's easier because there's already a path we've done it again and again and again. So then you're able to just slide down the path. And when we choose to create a new neural pathway, it's fresh snow, right? So when you have to
Mm.
make a new trail in fresh snow, it takes some sweat. It's new. You're
Unknown.
creating. It's unknown, but it's also really powerful because then we create new ways of seeing and new ways of being and new behaviors. According to neuroscience, and I need to double check this fact, but did research for the book because I'm not a neuroscientist, but I think it takes, is it 300 times or at least 3 months of repeating a new behavior or to
Really?
create a new habit for it,
Mm.
which
Wow.
I thought was just really fascinating to see how the plasticity of the brain, right?
Yeah.
So
We give up too soon.
we are very much able to create new behaviors and new ways of seeing and being and new routines and new rituals for ourselves through that is totally based on research that is of course absolutely possible. It doesn't mean it's easy, but
Right.
it's we are able to do that. And I
Wow.
think it's to me, it's just fascinating to also look at the science behind creativity as well, to show and prove that, if people say, well, I'm not creative, I think that belief is what stops us from really
Mm-hmm.
embracing and activating our innate creativity, because our brains show us that this is a part of the human makeup. We're wired to be creative. We have the control mold network in the brain, which is sort of like the analytical reasoning, right? When we make decisions,
Mm-hmm.
and we have the default. I'm oversimplifying this, but hey, that's okay. As I said,
That's
I'm not a
good.
neuroscientist. And then the default mode, otherwise known as the imagination network, which is the processes that happen when we're not thinking about something in specific particular. So it's kind of what we're thinking about when we're not thinking, if that makes sense. So it's
Mm-hmm.
usually activated when we're daydreaming, when our mind is wandering, and it's been
Mm-hmm.
shown to be connected very much to creativity. It's sort of that the unconscious processes that allow ideas to incubate, right? So it's happening underneath the surface. And to
Yes.
create space for that is just as important as the evaluation and analysis and research, also important. The two work together for creativity, right? So first we do the
Mm-hmm.
research, understanding what is it we're looking to create, and what's the research or information behind that. How can we start to connect certain dots? And then we allow a period, then we let it go and allow a period of incubation, which is why when we take a shower or we're in,
That's when the thoughts come. Yeah.
right, or we're driving, that's when the
Mm-hmm.
ideas come up. It's because we're not
Mm-hmm.
actively in pursuit of a solution. We
Yeah.
let it go. And that's when the default mode network comes online and starts to do the work for us. But we need to create space for it. We need to let it
Right.
go. And then there's
Listen.
it's right, there's an illumination moment as well, where it's like a eureka moment after incubation, elimination. And then after that, there's evaluation. Then control mode comes back in.
Ah.
We evaluate the ideas and saying, okay, well, what's feasible, what feels right, what's connected, da, da, da.
Yeah.
And both of these processes work in tandem. And I think in our world, and by the way, that creative process or thinking that I just described was created by Wallace. He devised,
Okay.
like, these are the four steps in creative thinking. He's a psychologist. So in our modern world, we often prioritize the research and the evaluation
Right.
over incubation and illumination. We don't give space or time or allowance for that. So I very much advocate for both, like understanding that it's rest and relaxation are
Mm-hmm.
part of our creative process, and
Meditation,
all of
space.
exactly
Mm-hmm.
movement, all of it,
Yes.
just as important.
Well, yeah, and evaluation, it can be so easy to fall back into our old patterns and poo-poo that creativity that comes to us in those quiet moments and say, oh no, that would never work
Yes,
because
yes.
that would keep us safe. We don't have to try something new then.
Boom, 100%. And that's why it's very important to disconnect, like at least when we're when we're creating anything, when we're in that sort of first iterative creative flow, we're in draft mode, or just like anything goes
Mm-hmm.
ideas mode. When that poo-pooing comes up, when that internal critic starts to go, we say, oh, no, no.
Mm-hmm.
I say, not now.
Mm-hmm.
You can come back. Yeah, exactly. You can come back, but it's not now. This is a
Yeah.
space where there's no editing, there's no evaluating, there's just pure possibility. We're throwing
Yeah.
pasta on walls and seeing what sticks, and we're having fun with it. It doesn't have to be plausible, doesn't have to be realistic, it doesn't have to be feasible, not in this space. When
Yeah.
we leave this space, you are most welcome to come to the table. Then we
Yeah.
need you. Then you can
Yeah.
help us go, okay, these are the pieces we're picking. This is what makes sense, but not before. And that's helped me a lot, because it's not saying no, it's saying not
Mm-hmm.
now. It's saying not yet,
Yeah.
right? And then that part
Well,
of you, or that part of your mind might feel like, okay, okay, I take that. I take that. We
yeah,
welcome you, we honor you, but it's not here, it's not now. And that always helps me, at least, also when
that's
I'm in the
good.
creative process. Because if the two start to get mixed up, that's how we get stuck. We get
Yeah.
stuck.
It's so easy to allow ourselves to just be safe and
To
small.
be, Yeah, absolutely. And that's ultimately what that voice, if you want to call it that, is trying to do. Keep
Yeah,
us safe,
for sure. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. What have I not asked you that you would love to share?
Oh, well, I don't know if it's just what I'd love to share, but I loved your question about wine. And so I thought I can,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
What's okay? So tell me, I always ask my guests near the end of our conversation, what's your favorite kind of wine, and what's a great memory that you've had with girlfriends sharing a glass and that kind of thing. But you had a great response.
yeah. So it was really interesting because I actually stopped drinking 5 years ago. I think everyone should do whatever they want to do, right? But for me
Hmm.
personally, when as long as they're safe and not hurting anybody else.
Yeah, right, right,
Um,
right.
yeah.
Caveat.
Yeah. For me, I think the greatest conversations that I've had happened when I moved to kombucha, which is my new fun drink kombucha. Pineapple
Yeah.
Tecate kombucha, sour cherry
Mm.
kombucha. There's so many good flavors. Um, because I felt like I was more present for myself and in those conversations, the more than I had
Hmm.
been when I had wine. Also, alcoholism runs in my family, so
Oh.
the wine, or at least my mom's side, maybe both. The wine often felt like a lubricant. It was what was needed. It was a
Oh.
reward. At the end of a hard day, you had a glass of wine.
Yeah.
In order to enjoy yourself, you had a glass of wine, and it felt more liberating to me to have a glass of kombucha with the person having a glass of wine, for example, or even my
Uh-huh.
husband having a Negroni, which he adores. Being able
Uh-huh.
to not have a glass of wine and have something else feels like that. That's what I discovered worked for me as I got
Mm.
older and allowed me to feel myself in those spaces too. Because I discovered it was really funny when I was drinking, I was able to hang out a hell of a lot longer with large groups of people, and I didn't really feel myself in it. And when I stopped drinking, I realized, especially in big groups, after a couple of hours, I was done. Like I
Oh.
was not because I
It's an
wasn't enjoying
overstimulation,
myself.
right? I mean, you can get
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
yeah,
And
it's a
and I just
lot.
thought it was interesting because I didn't used to feel it. It was new to me, that
Wow.
experience. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
because I
I could
was
see that.
Yeah, and I thought, oh, this is so cool in the sense that I get to feel into myself and into what I need, and also to show up fully. And when I'm ready to exit fully, I can also do that. And so it's just been a really wild journey, and it feels quite great to be able
That's cool.
to relate to myself and to my friends in a different way.
Yeah.
Also, it opens up new doors. Like, what do we do if I'm not drinking? Because I don't
Oh.
necessarily go out and party in the same way anymore.
Oh, heavens no. No, it's so
No,
different now.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and again, this is not to say I think everyone should do what brings them pleasure with the caveat. But that was just part of my journey. And the last wonderful memory that I had was with my friend Heather, one of my dear friends that I've known since New York days when I was 19. And I've
Mm.
saw all different iterations of her, and she's seen all different iterations of me. And recently we met up. My dad lives in Arizona, so we met up in Arizona, and we did a road trip to Joshua Tree. And went
Oh,
to the
nice.
store. Oh, it was so nice. We went to the store, like a Whole Foods or wherever, and we got like 5, 6 different types of kombucha because she's also a non-drinker,
Yes.
and hummus and carrots. And we just kind of sat, watched the
Mm.
sunset, and did our kombucha tasting and talked about life. And she's actually a neuroscientist. I interviewed her for my book. Fascinating.
Fantastic.
Yeah, she's absolutely brilliant, and also a very dear friend. And talked about life and love and experiments and explorations, and wobbles and the
Mhm.
thrill of it, while sipping on different flavors of kombucha. That's a really sweet memory.
Watching the sunset with a girlfriend and talking about
Mm,
all the things.
absolutely.
It's beautiful. Oh, wonderful. Pia, this has been so amazing.
It really has. Thank you so
Thank you.
much for having me on
Thank
and for this
you.
magical conversation. It's been really lovely. Your energy is just so bright and warm. I
Oh,
really
you
appreciate it.
too. This has been great.
It really has been.
One thing I neglected to ask you, where can people find you? And I'll include the links in the show notes and everything so people can find you. But
Great.
where would you like to send us?
I think collective.studio is my website is probably the best place to go. And it's spelled, it will be in the show notes, but it's spelled with a K, it's KOLLEKTIV.studio. So a little twist of a spelling there for collective. And there's more about my work and my book and different ways of working with me that are on the site.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Penny. It's been such a pleasure.
Mhm.
Bye.
Bye. That's a wrap on this episode of Penny for Your Shots. If you loved today's conversation, don't let the inspiration stop here. Get my weekly insider updates straight to your inbox. It's where I spill behind the scenes goodies, exclusive tips, and all the fun stuff I don't always share on the podcast. Sign up now at pennyforyourshots.com/insider. I'll see you in your inbox next Thirsty Thursday. Cheers.